Evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to season number 15. Round number 1, we are back for the summer. We have got one heck of a season coming our way. All eyes will go to the gantry light. Green flag drops and we are racing. That's going to be a very, very good stop.
He's going to edge him.
We've got 2 generations of Ferraris going side by side.
Goes to the outside. Very late break the outside.
What is going to happen?
What is happening?
Trying to hold on to it. Free abreast for us, way.
Alexis looking racy.
He's gonna hold him tight.
Oh my God.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Hello, everybody. Hello, as they say in Dutch. I just looked it up on Translate and I was expecting some like multi-syllable word, but turns out it's not. Anyway, welcome everyone back to D2, Division 2, Round 4, Season 16 of SRA. Joined again by myself, Anton Rushevich, and our very lovely co-host, Donovan Colton. How are we doing, Donovan?
Doing good. Looking forward to Zandvoort. Interesting track, interesting conditions tonight. So, yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, you mentioned the conditions, and a quick go over of the calendar once again. We are already 3 weeks down in this 8-week-long season. Of course, we have the break week between round 7 and round 8, so the drivers are going to have that chance to kind of, have a mental reset before they enter the last race of the season, heading into the winter break. It's going to be at Misano. Sunny, not snowy, unfortunately, as the winter season is upon us. Donna, I bet it's been snowing up there in Utah for quite a while at this point, hasn't it?
Well, we've gotten snow, but it's actually been pretty warm.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, global warming, eh?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's not staying around.
Yeah, speaking of global warming, last time we were at Zandvoort was in season 12 here at SRA, and let me say, global warming was in effect. It was 38 degrees centigrade air temperature, and the track was scorching hot at a wild 48 degrees Celsius. I gotta say, I did not enjoy that race. That was my first season in SRA, and although I did win, that race was just pain from start to finish.
Wasn't
I guess,
it actually warmer than like it had ever been?
Yeah, I think
before?
I think the record temperature in Zandvoort IRL is like somewhere around 37 degrees Celsius in the air. So
yeah.
some would argue unrealistic. That's all I'm saying.
This is a simulator.
Yeah, the immersion broken. Anyway, we're at Zandvoort this week with a twist. As you may have seen on the track calendar for the season, we do have mixed conditions here at Zandvoort this week. A bit of a shorter track compared to Valencia in terms of length, but it has a lot of twisty and turny corners. So you're going to be going through about 14 turns on this track, not the mysterious 15 at Valencia, even though it is, I believe it's still 14 corners. Not too far away in Europe, so this is, I guess, the European leg of the season. Next week, we're going to go to Bathurst and Mount Panorama in Australia. But here, again, turn one, a lot of similar, turn ones across the world. You have a hairpin. This one's a bit quicker. If you ever watched F1, this corner is actually quite deceivingly fast. It's off camber. You can get the power down pretty early. The traction is pretty lenient here. Heading into turn two, a bit of an uphill climb, maybe about 5 feet, 6 feet maybe. Into turn three, it's also kind of a downhill hairpin, very tricky corner to get right. You want to get on the throttle very quickly. Turn four, turn five, turn six, not really corners, but in the rain, if it rains today, these will be effectively corners. You might have to lift through them, especially on lap one. So we got to watch out for that. As the drivers head into sector two, turn seven, pretty tricky, not only in the dry, but in the wet as well. You want to hug the right side of the track. Don't run it onto the grass. I have lost way too many tire pressures doing that, even on my out laps, and not good for the rest of the session, I will tell you that. Heading to turn eight, it's actually missing on the track. I have a little kink in the road. After turn seven, it turns left a little bit, and then it's a quick right after turn eight. You want to get on the curbs there, get on power early. Head over into turn 9. Very easy to get the tires onto the grass. Heading into turn 10. Probably one of the hardest corners on the track, along with turns 1 and 3, to be honest. It's a very, very long apex. You got to, get to it quickly, but also don't get on the throttle too early so you don't get the car out wide. It gets a little bit messy when you get on the not the road surface. Very easy to invalidate. Very easy to get tire pressure. Heading into the sector 3, we got a very quick chicane of turn 11, 12, heading into 13. Turn 11, a lot of cars can take the curbing there. Some cannot. So it's going to be interesting how the drivers approach that corner. Turn 12, another hairpin. Tricky to get on the power again here, especially in the rain. Don't want to lose the traction on the rear tires. Turn 13, this corner comes up on you very quick, I got to say. You got to get on the power early. Heading into turn 14, a lot of lap time can be met up here if you turn the car early enough to the point where you're hugging the right side, you're not running wide, and yeah, Zandvoort, super tricky track, even trickier in these conditions. So, Donovan, what do you expect we're going to see out here today?
I don't know. It should be interesting. It all depends on the conditions, because it's gonna be a mixed race, and I think this is a pretty tricky track, even under just normal conditions. So it's definitely going to be a lot for them to watch out for. But yeah, so going forward to the driver standings, we will have another drop race. So things are still kind of shaping up a little bit. But yeah, Amos Movo leading for now after his fantastic race last week with 213 points. Paul A. Hartman, who's also, he's been on the podium every single race so far, so we'll be looking out for him as well. Brian Anderson, Philippinas Mueller, he got a podium last week. Harold McDonald, Selena Boonstra, Jason Allen, Kyle Barber, Thomas Olhausen, and Matthew Higgs rounding out the top 10. Going down to the silvers, we got Dick Zipperberg Jr. Running in P13, and this is where things get quite a bit closer. Ethan Marvin was our silver winner last week, who's going to be following right behind. But Yeah, so yeah, going forward to the team standings look a little bit different because the drivers are kind of split out a little bit. Brian Anderson and Matthew Higgs leading that by a good almost 20 points ahead of Philippinas Mueller and Thomas Olhausen. They've been doing well, having relatively quiet races. Where Brian and Matthew Higgs have been having a little bit louder races, but they're right behind them. Yeah, Jason Allen and Mike Gino, we'll see if they qualify within a couple thousandths of each other like they've done every race so far.
That's so crazy, by the way. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
My teammate sucks, and they're
so
literally
wild.
on pace with each other.
they're like within 100th of each other every qualifying so far. It's actually crazy.
It's
But,
amazing.
yeah, and then we got the Champion Motorsports, rounding out the top four there with our first silver driver in the team standings there with Sean Williams, and then also going down to Amos Movos and his teammate Riley Greer, who has had a bit of an unfortunate season so far. So we're gonna be looking out, seeing if he could turn things around.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that those two can, like you said, turn it around because, Riley, as you said, has been super unlucky. But, I mean, they've shown good quality pace. At least Riley has. I know that, I worked with him last season as a coach. Here we have the silver drivers already coming out. We do have a little bit longer of a qualifying session. As you can see, it is wet, and it is increasing wet in 10 minutes time. So, you know what that means, Donovan? Them gold drivers going to have to work. They got to get out early, get the best of the track conditions while they can, because it will get wetter, which means the times will get slower. Wow, already a spinner in the works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look at that. It's always interesting when this sort of thing happens, plus rain. The silver drivers are going to get a very likely, or it definitely could be at least a better track. If once you get cars running around, I don't know. My guess is they'll still have a better track than the gold drivers, which is always interesting. That really shakes up the starting grid.
Yeah, I think one thing to note, though, is that at the moment, it is not increasing rain. So while the drivers are out there at the moment, obviously on a wet track, there's no rubber lines in at all, right? So the silver drivers will be able to put some rubber down, get the racing line kind of gripped up for the gold drivers. So even though those gold drivers have that, initial disadvantage of the rain increasing, I feel like the first 1 or 2 laps are gonna have to be those laps where you have to make it or break it. If it's not those 2 laps, then I feel like it's just over at that point. The rain's gonna be increasing. There's gonna be more water on the track, and we're gonna get a famous Charles Leclerc radio message from his engineer Brian. Must be the water is why my times are so slow. So Ethan Marvin going on his first flying lap here. The Lexus, honestly, I'm kind of a fan of this car in the wet. I think it handles pretty well. Some people might disagree with me on that. I believe, the advantages that it has, or rather the disadvantages that it has, kind of like the mid high-speed corners where it lacks the aero. Obviously, the rain kind of mitigates that, right? A lot of drivers have to be a bit slower as they approach those high-speed corners. So Ethan Marvin, I feel like he's got a good shot today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I am a Lexus shill through and through, though, so I'm a bit biased. But I definitely agree. I think it's a decent car in the in the wet. Overall, I mean, it's no Porsche or anything like that. But yeah, this is definitely not necessarily the strongest track for cars like the Lexus. There's it's not great at mid-speed turns, and there's quite a few mid-speed turns, and so I imagine it's not that easy around here. This is actually a track. This is the only track I have no experience in ACC in terms of driving. I've never driven this track in ACC. It's the only one, only team series, or only one I haven't done a team series race on as well. So
well,
yeah,
you're definitely
kind of
living vicariously through Ethan Marvin this race. Lexus driver,
absolutely.
D2 is like, I mean, it was your home for a while, right? So
it was, yeah, and I missed the D2 race here. I was in D2 in season 12
in the Nissan
when we
yeah
that was in the Nissan, but I was out of town for this race, so
that team is with Andrew Reif as well, I believe, right?
Yes, yep.
commentator
a
goat,
pretty
missing
good
him a couple of past seasons, but
Yeah.
we're in to fill the everlasting hole that Andrew's quips make. I believe there was a couple of races where there were some comments that he would make, such as, you know, that infamous season 13 Watkins race. Don, I know you don't like reliving that, but
Oh
gotta
yeah.
say, you know, millions
I
and
do
millions of
remember that.
dollars of damage, including your own.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I see Adam Santana uses Prime sub for the Twitch channel. Again, really appreciate the support, everybody. If you do enjoy the streams, obviously the subscription is an option. If you are a member of Amazon Prime, I believe this is how the streamers do it. Hit that subscribe button. It is a free sub, as long as you pay for those free shipping within 2 days. I don't even know what they do nowadays, but first of all, I want to say Ethan Marvin on provisional pole by 6/10 over his teammate Rafcab Alton Alexis, and I feel like these times are going to come down as long as these drivers have, you know, these pressures built up to where they want to be. You know, Sean Williams, for example, is up half a second already heading into the start or the middle of sector 2. Honestly, probably the hardest couple of corners on the track. Yeah, these times are going to start coming down. Ethan Marvin currently up on his time by a little bit. Pat Cockcroft up in his time. We see Sean Leach up in his time. Max Diggs up in his time. Riley Greer, most notably, up on his time. We mentioned him at the beginning. Yeah, these drivers are going to, you know, get the better session kind of, in my opinion. You know, these first 10 minutes are going to be the best conditions on the track. Especially the last lap is when, you know, there's going to be the least amount of water as opposed to the start of the session. You know, the drivers are kicking up the water, putting down the rubber on the track on the racing line here. Sean Williams going to come across the line with a hefty improvement here of about 1.1 seconds. If you can keep it tight on the right side there, kind of edging the car through the racing line there. 1.2 second improvement there, shoots him up to P5. So those times are coming down. Pat Cockcroft's improving to P2 there. So yeah, Ethan Marvin's still holding that P1.
Yeah, and yeah, I think these times, yeah, I mean, there's definitely quite a bit of green on the board, but you know, in qualifying sessions like this, it's kind of interesting. A lot of times, the best laps are like, or it's usually the second lap, at least in my experience, and with, you know, at least looking at the wetness on the board
yes.
there. Yeah.
Riley Greer shoots up to P2 with that lap. Good stuff.
Yeah. 2/10 behind Ethan Marvin. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, still going to be improving a little bit, you know, kind of rubbering stuff in. The rain is not increasing, so theoretically, the more they drive around, the faster the track will get until the rain starts coming down more.
Yeah, speaking of improving track conditions, Pat Cockcroft here, almost 9/10 up on his time here. He's going to shoot to the top position here. That Porsche setting a time of a 40.7. So those times really are coming down. We're seeing a lot of drivers improving their times. Sean Leach up on his time. Rowdy Burns up on his time. Almost a second. He does improve. I believe he hasn't crossed the line yet. He just lost that time. He did cross the line, but it improved him only slightly. But Pat Cockcroft showing those Porsche stubby Rexy arms with the little cast on. I was about to say, you know, stretching the legs. Quick callback.
yeah.
Oh, and there's Rowdy Burns improving to P2. So yeah, I believe race control just lagged a little bit. Maybe the timing board wasn't exactly accurate. Pat Cockcroft, though, with a monster sector 1 on his previous lap, about 2/10 quicker than his front row counterpart, Rowdy Burns. So, I mean, Rowdy's quick, pretty much where Pat isn't. So if Rowdy can clean up his lap, I feel like he's going to be on it.
Oh, Ethan was almost 6/10 up on his lap. He was going more and more, and then he lost it here in sector 2. I mean, this is a tricky, in, you know, at least I have very limited. I've only driven this track in the original Assetto Corsa, and it's mostly with vintage vehicles. But that area is, or you know, that sector in sector 2 there is probably the hardest part of the track for me. Getting the rotation right is definitely tricky in the cars that I like to drive, which are typically, you know, cars like the Lexus, where you know, things are kind of tricky in those more mid-speed turns.
Indeed. But we're seeing at the moment still the Porsche being on top of the timings table. A couple of cars that I'm surprised at least, you know, haven't gotten time so far. Ponzo Rigatoni sitting currently behind 2 gold drivers who haven't even set laps yet. So Ponzo really needs to get a lap down. I believe he probably went back to the pit, so he's definitely struggling. As opposed to his teammate, Pat Cockcroft, who is, of course, on top. I don't really want to... I'm not trying to slander Ponzo here. Ponzo's my guy, you know, my OBDA compatriot, as is Donovan. So we love to see Ponzo on track. Glad to see him back this season. Of course, after sustaining that... I think he also injured his elbow, coincidentally. So him and Pat being teammates is quite fitting.
It was all planned.
Yeah, it was a premeditated team up from a couple of months ago, for sure.
Yeah.
Riley Greer approaching the final corner here, really up on his time, about half a second, and still climbing. Does keep it within the white lines, not on the grass there, not pushing limits 100%, but he's gonna push his car up into P2 with that time coming down. It's with about 40 seconds to go until the gold drivers come out, but Riley Greer is going to be the last silver driver that's going to be able to set a lap here. So he, technically speaking, is going to have the best conditions for this lap. And he's kind of even on his delta, kind of making up a little bit of time. You know, going through turn 3 there, a little bit passive on the acceleration there. The car was a little bit too tight, perhaps, for the wet track. And yeah, he's down a couple of tenths, and he pulls over off the side. He already knows. And Ethan Marvin jumps to the top with a 40.6.
I was just gonna point that out. Yeah, he was super up there, and yeah, that's his qualifying done. But that's a pretty good time there.
What's these deltas? Hello, P5 half a second and P6 1.1.
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, a little bit different. You know, that you know kind of happens when there's rain. You know, it's a little bit different than, you know, like last week with the you know, the times were so close to each other. I mean, there were thousands, you know, mini drivers, you know, basically right next to each other. So yeah, it looks like most of these drivers finishing up their qualifying for the silver drivers, and then the gold drivers now going out.
You want to keep an eye on Ponzo as our last silver driver going to cross the line. Yeah, a little bit down on this time, so he's going to be sitting in P11. So he did put the lap in. He's going to do a little bit of a practice entry, pit entry. He's going to be very close there. Kind of a scary camera
like
angle.
A pretty good entry.
Yeah, it looked nice.
That looked like a pretty. Yeah, it looked pretty optimized.
Ooh, actually, Diego brings up an interesting point. So
I was going to point that out too. Yeah.
Doug Mitchell, resident Lexus driver of SRA, is back in Division 2. So I think it's going to be interesting this championship now, because Doug, obviously, you know, back in his heyday in D2 with teaming up with Evan Kim. Actually, they raced on this very track back in season 12. They blew the competition out of the water by quite a margin. So with the 2 drop races, he's not here this week, so not ideal.
Yeah.
But I can just really see him, you know, challenging for a few podiums, a few race wins, perhaps. One man that's going to challenge though is going to be this man, Amos Movo, the data man. He actually sent me a few graphs to look at. I think he sent them to you as well, about how the rain level is going to be. So the way that this week is set up is that our actual rain race is going to be Suzuka, of course. This week was kind of just supposed to be variable to begin with. Of course, having the chance of a full dry race, having the chance of a full wet race, and obviously in between, it's kind of a 30-30-40 split. So ideally, we have those mixed conditions, which is kind of what we're seeing here, where the rain is increasing for the gold drivers. But the way that the rain level is, as Amos is queuing behind Selena Boonster here in the FAF Motorsports livery, the way that the rain here is that if it's not necessarily raining at the start of the race, it is highly unlikely that it's going to rain the rest of the race. I do think that since qualifying and the race are on the same day, it's a difference of 2 hours. I think we're expecting to see a wet race.
Yeah, I think so as well. Whoa, he's starting.
He's pushing them limits already. Look at Amos Mova.
Yeah.
Finish racing.
Yeah. Yep. Looking. I mean, it doesn't look like it's gotten any wetter. So, if it is going to get wetter, then you know you're going to want to really get a move on and get in some good banker laps. It really doesn't look that wet though. Like
I mean, there is the dry line that you can kind of see, at least where there's a little bit less water. You do want to stay on that, as the tires will be a little bit more grippy, you know. Where there is water, obviously the wet tires will be able to handle it, but you hear those puddles in the background, those are going to be the ones that throw you off. So yeah, Amos Momo hitting a puddle there for sure, not being able to get the car exactly rotated to hit the apex of turn 7 there, or turn 6, turn 7. But yeah, it's going to be tricky for sure from here on out. Actually, ooh, Amos Momo hits the grass, so I actually spun there yesterday. I touched the grass during the race, and not ideal. But I do want to point out, the track is damp. So it went from wet to damp. These gold drivers are going to have the better conditions.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, those first two laps, Brian Anderson already up to P4 on his banker lap. He's already up 2.5 tenths. So I am imagining that, you know, these drivers, like I said, got to put in those laps, but it's going to come down to maybe who's, you know, crossing the track last. And back to back weeks. Jalen and Gino next to each other on the grid. Unbelievable.
It's so funny. Like, even with their bankers, they're right next to each other on grid.
It's insane. Yeah. To Mr. Purple 7 even, that's Ryan Yee in the Swiss chat. I mean, I can count how many silvers and golds there are. I believe there are more golds and silvers for sure by the looks of it. But actually, let me count how many silvers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 silvers. So there are more golds than silvers.
Yeah, 18 golds. So quick maths.
Quick maths. I can count on my fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan made me say that just to say 6, 7.
Yeah.
Thomas Olhausen, though, immediately to the top of the board. Brian Anderson with the 40.425. Again, I'm kind of known for my bias in these races. Thomas Olhausen, one of my fantasy drivers. Love to see it. His teammate in P4, about 3 tenths down.
My fantasy driver.
Yeah, there we go. Amos Momo again spinning. As you see, there's another yellow flag.
Oh, no.
That is not good for our title. I guess it's championship leader at the moment, right?
Yeah,
so
he's our championship leader.
He's got, his tires are not going to be happy. First of all. Second of all, he's got 4 minutes to go. And like we said, that rain coming down. That rain is coming down. Mason Moffitt to the top of the leaderboard with a, and immediately dethroned by Jack Krause with a 40.1. So yeah, these times are coming down fast. We gotta get a move on, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely getting faster and faster. So yeah, so not all is over for Amos, our championship leader. He could still definitely get in the lap, but now it kind of messes with your, you know, mentality a bit, because now you're just wanting to get a lap, you know. At this point you're just, you know, at least, you know, a lot with how my brain works in those situations. You know, I'd just be happy to get, you know, any lap. I'm not necessarily looking at the top anymore. But yeah, it's pretty close. Look at how we were talking about how there were larger gaps, but I mean, when you look at, you know, currently P2 through P5 is all very close to each other. So things can change a lot still.
And Brian Anderson just dethroning Mason Moffitt off that second position. So it's a Lambo 1-2 at the moment with the McLaren in P3. I want to see some more representation here. Riley Greer is still holding P13, so let's see if his teammate Amos Moa, even more notably Paulie Hartman in P10, about 6 tenths off. So not finding the same hot lap pace that he had back at Coda with that insane banker lap that he had of a 205.7, which I think would have been fine for P2 if I remember correctly. But Mason and Moffitt not improving here on this lap. One driver that is improving though, Matt Higgs, back for this week, currently holding purple sector 3. Kind of getting, you know, he's gotta find the time. So he's currently even on his delta, but going through turn 3 here. Let's see if he can improve. There's a lot of time to be gained here, and he does have a good exit. Kind of, it's a little bit on the curb, but is gaining a little bit. One driver that is also getting Jess Osborne. We haven't seen too much of him this season, and still, I mean, I gotta look at that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe in between.
We have to get the livery.
I believe it's an issue with some DDS files not rendering. I'd have to check that. But yeah, Jess Osborne improving his time. So this time we'll probably, put him up a couple of positions. Currently sitting P14. Might be looking at a 3/10, 4/10 improvement here, which would shoot him up definitely a couple of spots into the top 10 for sure. As at the moment, we're still looking at a Lambo 1-2. Mason Moffett still holding P3, but he is improving here. Heading into the last sector of the track, Mason Moffett is, and he's currently about a 10th and a half up. Let's see if he can get this braking zone right. Heading into the tricky chicane here. He does avoid that curb like it's lava. This is a little bit of time. Brian Anderson gating time at the moment, but starting his lap at the moment. Whew. Yeah, this is a pretty exciting qualifying session thus far. Still waiting for Amos to put in a lap. He's actually P19, so not good enough.
Yeah, that's like I said, you get into that mode where you're just looking for whatever you can get. A little bit of insider info. Fire Queso in the chat saying Paul A has to restart his game. It's a slideshow right now, so that is no good. It looks like he is back in the server. I did see him out of the server, but it looks like he's back in the server. But yeah, hopefully that cleans up a bit for him. But yeah, Amos Movo, he's up a bit on his time going into the last turn.
He's got to improve a lot for sure. He's got a lot of ground to make up. He's about 3.5 tenths up on his time, which is only going to shoot him up about, I want to say 6 positions up into, let's see where it goes, from P19 to P14. So I mean, it's kind of 5. Quick maths. Yeah. And I do want to say,
quick maths.
it is back to wet. So I believe the best of the conditions have gone. I don't imagine we're going to see much improvement out of these drivers. So Jack Krause obviously holding that pole position at the moment provisionally, but the rest of the drivers not improving. So those wet conditions are proving to be decisive in this qualifying session. Thomas Holhausen back to the box. Mason Moffett back to the box. Selena Boonster in P5 also back to the box. Look at that margin, by the way. So we have Selena Boonster only 2,000 behind Thomas Holhausen. Another margin I want to make note of, though, is Jason Allen is ahead of Gino.
Yeah, by quite a bit too. Something definitely happened to Gino in his qualifying, but that's Jason Allen just I mean he's probably feeling pretty good about that. He gets very awfully competitive with Gino.
Oh, I mean, we can see it even in the team name. My teammate sucks. We all know who made that, right?
I know, yeah. Yeah. It certainly wasn't Gino.
So yeah, as this quality session rounds to a close, we have Jack Krause on pole position, Brian Anderson in P2, and Mason Moffett in P3. So yeah, the rain again proving to be decisive, and yeah, I gotta say, gotta be on it when you're on it, right? So Donovan, I mean, what can we expect from this race, right? It's gonna be interesting. I think we do have rain on the forecast, as this is on the same day, and a little bit of sneak peek. It is still raining for the race. In the meantime, though, we are going to go to our sponsor message, our daily, I guess not daily, it's a weekly sponsor message, of course, with one of our fellow commentators, Jake Weasley. So we will be right back.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Yo, what up, gang? We're back. We are so back. And as you can see on the radar, as we said earlier, it is going to start to rain at the start of the race. However, the track is damp. The tires will be hot. Rain is decreasing in 10 minutes time, and in 30 minutes time, we might see some greasy conditions, folks. Do you know what that means? Pit stop strategies. It's going to be very interesting this week. Jack Krause leading off pole position. Madison P2, Mason Moffitt P3. Donovan, I know it's hard to make predictions. What do you got?
I have no idea. It's very hard to make. It is very hard to make predictions in races like this. Yeah, strategy is going to come into play big here. This is the kind of conditions where that definitely will make or break the race. So honestly, I mean, I think we could see some pretty big comebacks from, drivers like Amos Movo, Paulie Hartman, starting in P13 and P15. Like, I think they, if they get the strategy right, can, come back from their positions. But looking through, but we also, we've seen Brian Anderson be strong. We haven't seen a ton of Jack Krause. I know he had some super unfortunate situations with his rig last week out, I believe, right? Yeah. At Valencia.
Oh yeah.
And,
so didn't his brake pedal fall off or something?
Yeah. So
what's that about, by the way? What's the Lambo drivers, man? That's
It's just Lambo things.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, super hard to predict, but what we can predict is at least the starting order, because it's right in front of us. We got Jack Krause, Brian Anderson, Mason Moffitt starting in the top 3 positions. Thomas Olhausen, fantasy represent, of course, P4. Jason Allen, P5 with his first top 5 qualifying start this season. Celine Boonster, P6, Juan Carl in P7, Kyle Barber in P8, Philip Mueller in P9, Ethan Marvin rounding out the top 10, our top qualifying silver drivers. So that Lexus might be strong in these conditions. The tires are going to be a little bit on the hotter side, but if we can keep them cool, it's going to be good. With these cooler conditions, going to have the brake nuts a little bit, farther open, because these wet tires are going to get very hot as the rain does decrease. Taylor Johnston in P11, Matt Higgs in P12, Pat Cockcroft P13, Paulie Hartman in P14, I believe he was P13, but Amos Moen P15. Crucially, behind his title rival, Jess Osborne P16, Riley Greer P17, Matt Arden P18, Rowdy Burns P19, Justin McKechnie P20, Tristan Zamora in P21, Meg Gino not ahead of Jason this time, P22, Max Diggs in P23, Sam Serino in P24, Sean Leach P25, Sean Williams P26, Kevin Nichols in P27, Rafcat P28, Panzer Rigatoni P29, Jacob Hart in P30, Ruskobat P30, and Curtis Lee rounds out the grid as we are rounding the last corner. The 2 Lambos, not teammates. Very important to note there. Teammates are, I believe, Jack Krause's teammate is Tristan Zamora in P21, and Brian Anderson's teammate is Matt Higgs in P12. So fighting for the team championship, Brian Anderson fighting for a win. Jack Krause, these drivers will be leading everybody up to the start-finish line. It's a quick run down into turn 1. Let's see who's going to get a better reaction, who's going to get the inside, the outside line in turn 1. It's going to be very crucial to get a good start here. You want to get that truck position. As we do go green, the Lambos are dead even on the start. Jack Krause moving over a little bit, kind of to squeeze Brian, saying, hey, I got this corner. Don't do anything crazy. But Brian Anderson says, I will take that space very much. Thank you very much. On the outside, still holding that overlap on the outside, Jack Krause, as things might get dicey here. The 2 rubbing tires, but Brian Anderson got the guts, got the balls going around the outside. We do see a yellow flag, that's car 720, but these drivers are still going side by side. Brian Anderson with an almighty move into P1, holding the inside. Well done to those two drivers. Brian Anderson takes the lead, and it looks pretty clean in the back. Selena Brewster makes the pass on the outside at the moment into P4, overtaking Thomas Olhausen for P4. What a start. Crazy.
Yeah, something happened to Sean Williams in the 720. But yeah, overall, a clean start from these leaders. One thing I wanted to point out, and I think I did just see it. Sir in the YouTube chat said leader on slicks, and I think he was right. I think Kraus is on slick tires, which is definitely an interesting move.
He is on slicks. You see the yellow markings on the side?
Yeah.
Those are the Pirelli tires. Wow. Whoa. Okay. Okay, we got some offset strategies here. So Jack Kraus playing the long game here, because as the rain comes down, we can see on board not much rain on the track. It's still obviously raining, but in 10 minutes time it's going to decrease. So Brian Anderson on those wet tires, obviously pulling a huge gap at the moment. Jack Kraus is going to be backing up a lot of people. So really, I think the name of the game for Jack Kraus here, don't lose too much time fighting these cars, because you're on a different tire strategy. You gotta just, if a car's going to pass you, it's going to pass you. Obviously, the tire offset is going to be huge at the moment. We're seeing the delta already being to 1.5 seconds from P1 to P2. Wow, that's a very interesting strategy. Matt Higgs making some positions up on Kyle Barber, already into the top 10, into P9. So these two drivers looking strong. He's obviously on the wet tires. I'm curious to see if anyone else is on the wet tires. I don't believe...
I know, same here. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see if Amos Mova on the wet tires. Let's see, Paulie Hartman. Ooh, wait, were those slicks on Paulie? Wait a minute. Those are slicks on Paulie. Whoa. We got some risky strategies.
Yeah, farther down in there too. I would think that would be definitely, I would be very reluctant to do that risky of a strategy. That is not a place that you often see somebody diving down the inside, but Justin McKechnie, he definitely likes to do that. He likes to stick his nose in. More side-by-side action, and we're almost three wide. Oh no, we are 3 wide. Oh no.
Right, left the door open, and that's Mike Gino getting his elbows out as well. And he's just squeezed Riley Greer with nowhere to go. And he's getting just snatched up here by Tristan Zamora and Jess Osborne. Riley Greer just bleeding places here after he left the door open. And that's Max Diggs spinning his car. The rear's just giving out there mid-apex, and that's not very nice there for the McLaren. And there's so much happening behind it. I mean, Brian Anderson... Yeah.
That was like 3 different 3 wides that Riley was a part of there.
Look at this. Justin McKechnie getting a run on Taylor Johnson. So Justin pushing himself up the order. I wonder if Taylor's also on the slick tires, because Justin just has so much more grip than everybody, it seems. He is on the slick tires. What? Look at these varying strategies, and it's going to be light rain in 10 minutes, like very light rain. It's even going to be decreasing in 30 even more. So I don't know. Personally, I probably would have started on the wet tire, opened the ducts a little bit, maybe on the 4 or 5 ducts. Obviously, that keeps the tires a bit cooler, but that does mean when you do go onto those dry tires in the second stint, you're going to have to overpressure them a lot. You're not going to have a lot of temps in there, but I think what Brian Anderson's doing, for example, having that 2.5 second gap at the moment is going to do him more good than bad.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think the starting on the wets was definitely the move. And yeah, Brian Anderson putting a 2.4 second gap on Jack Kraus. But Jack Kraus honestly doing pretty well to hang in there for P2. It could definitely work out pretty nicely. But the problem is he's going to be basically in the same situation where he's just going to have to pit for new tires, so he's essentially losing time in this stint. In the meantime, we've got
yellow flag.
Some yellow, with Sean Leach.
Of course, the teammate of Justin McKechnie, Sean Leach, and the other 488 Evo Ferrari. Not the most common option you see picked in SRA these days. Obviously, we had last season's D1 champion and team championship winner, Jeremy Mercer. Yeah, I mean, that's where the grip isn't, and maybe he's on this dry tires. Honestly, we
we could
see. on the side, and he's on the wets, so
Yeah, it looks like wets. Yeah.
got a little bit on the wet side of the track, and not ideal, of course. Not ideal. Mason Moffitt dropping back a little bit from Jack Krause, which is interesting. So I'm guessing that these wet tires are getting hot pretty darn quick, because Jack Krause pulling a little bit away. You know, his last lap actually not too far behind Brian Anderson. So maybe this is a masterstroke of a strategy decision by Jack Krause.
Yeah,
this is gonna get interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it seems to, you know, Paulie Hartman has not seemed to work quite as well. He's down a few positions from his starting, but for a couple of these other drivers, they seem to be, I mean, namely Jack Krause. I mean, he seems to be hanging pretty well. Brian Anderson put that gap on him really early on. Did Amos try any crazy strategies?
I think Amos went the safe route. Which I honestly, at this point, I don't even know if it's the safe route.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. That's one thing about these you know, mixed condition races is the strategy's all over the place, and there's a lot of unknowns with it. And even when you're racing, there's unknowns. Looks like that BMW is on slick tires as well. Kyle Barber.
Look at the grip he has around the fast corners. I mean, Amos Moffitt, well, pushing himself wide, he does want to maintain that slipstream advantage on the BMW. BMW slightly pulls away, obviously, with the underspeed on the grass from the Ferrari. But Amos is going to have that mid-corner grip where the other cars won't have. At the moment, however, so you see Kyle Barber, you know, slipping on, with the wheel spin on exit from these corners, but Amos Moffitt just has that traction, has that, you know, mid-corner acceleration that these other cars don't, that chose to be on the slicks. But we see with Jack Krause, he's not that far off the pace from Brian Anderson. Brian Anderson's last lap was a 41.1. Guess where Jack Krause is? 41.1. So these tires are starting to, you know, really get in their temperature. Matt Higgs still on the wet tires, but he's holding that purple lap with a 40.7. So Brian Anderson, I think his tires are starting to overheat a little bit.
Yeah, and that's definitely something to you know, worry about in these damp conditions like this. So yeah, it's interesting. Paulie looking like he's a little bit more brave. You know, looking at the inside. But that's gonna put him off. And what a dive there from Jess Osborne. That's gonna leave the door open for Riley.
Riley Greer was in this situation before. He does not want to be here again. Groundhog Day for Riley Greer, as he does end up getting a little bit of bump. He did not see Tristan Zamora there on his inside, but Tristan Zamora with a very nice run, I must say, on Paulie Hartman here. Does get very close on the grass on the braking there, but stays behind Paulie for the time being.
Quite the battling, you know, in the sector 2 there. That's definitely showing to be quite a lot of action here at a part of the track that I'm, you know, not super. I feel like that's not necessarily the most amount of action in general, unless I guess something goes wrong. And in this case, it's taking advantage of other cars, you know, going offline, and you know, that's just something that these conditions kind of open up to. This is quite the train developing behind this battle here.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see a couple cars going a little bit wide from the apex there in turn 1. Just the sheer amount of, you know, you got to drive in your mirrors, but as well keep your focus on the track. The corners come up very fast here, especially, you know, on these conditions that are tricky. Like you said, there's not going to be many opportunities passing here in the first place, but with the offset tire strategies that we have here, I mean, Tristan Zamora, obviously on the wet tires, having that, like I said, that mid-corner grip that, you know, some of these other drivers don't have. Paulie Hartman holding back these drivers while on the slicks. I think, you know, in the long run, probably a good play. I still think I would have gone for the wets.
Yeah, I mean, wets and then an early pit on to dries could be. It's hard to tell, you know, exactly what's going to happen later in the race. That could definitely be a solid go, but
yeah, you can definitely see that there's less rain on the track.
For sure.
The dry
line, I'm sure the wet tires
are
starting to get warm.
Absolutely. I mean, we could be on board with Brian Anderson here. We can probably hear the tires screeching mid-corner here. He does miss the apex there, so the brakes are, you know, not cooperating 100%. The tires are trying to slow down, but it's one thing to, you know, drive on wet tires on a wet track. It's a completely different thing to drive on wet tires on a drying track. So it's going to be tricky.
Last lap was pretty quick. It's definitely looking like that is the
oh, what's his yellow flag?
Tire.
It's Tristan Zamora. He was following Pauly.
Oh no, yeah.
We need to know what happened. Off to race control, replay system, bada bing, bada boom. Let's see what happened. It obviously was in turn 1. We did see that as we clicked before the replay. Let's see what happened here with Mr. Jack Krause here approaching the braking zone down into turn 1. Looks like he... Oh, he hits Pauly!
He did hit Pauly.
No! Where's Pauly? Pauly also dropped a ton of positions because of that. So and we saw Brian Anderson missing the braking zone. So yeah, those Lambos not being the greatest in the braking zone down into turn 1. That is... not what you want to see for our 3-time podium finisher thus far this season, Pauly Hartman, down to P27. We see Max Diggs already serving his pit requirement to see that he's got a green little box next to his racing number. So he's going to be on a new tire. I assume the dries, which I think is a bit too early, but hey, the undercut might work.
Well, honestly, it's if he got his, you know, tire pressures just completely off, you know, on his first stint, it could be, you know, a good strategy, and, you know, a little bit of a it looks like these drivers, I think they're going off to try to cool their tires at least a little bit. It's not a super long straight. I feel like this is not a track where you can really cool the tires much because there's not enough time off the lines. This is a track, you know, one of those tracks where it's kind of, you know, just a line, you know, that you have to take throughout, you know, all the twists and turns.
Yes, Donovan, that's the racing line. We know.
yes. Yeah, you have to it's a track where you have to take the
racing line to be fast. Oh, there's another yellow flag.
Ferrari energy there.
I believe that's Jacob Hart, who was yellow flagged for a moment. Obviously fighting here, I believe it's like the Ferrari of Riley Greer and the other Busch Racing 296. Jacob Hart obviously positioning for the inside of turn 1 and misses it. I was going to say by a little bit, but completely ends up in the gravel, so completely misses the corner. And I mean, those tires, those brakes, not going to be happy. Those tires are a little bit hot. You know, Ryan's saying that those tires are going to be dead when it dries up. I think they're already dead, to be honest. I mean, if the pressures aren't right, they're going to be gone. Like instantly, within a couple of laps, you know, the tires are going to be within, you know, tomato level of redness. So, it's not ideal. Jack Krause already up to within a second of Brian Anderson, holding that purple lap, of course.
Are in their own race here for sure, having almost a full 5-second gap ahead of Mason Moffitt. Yeah, and it's looking like the tires are feeling pretty good for Jack Krause here.
I do think that these dries will probably be grained pretty quickly.
They're gonna grain. Yeah, so yeah, and I wonder if they're going to be thinking about coming in soon. I feel like the undercut in these conditions would be strong. Very strong. It just is towards the end of the race. You know, my mentality for these sorts of races is always undercut, but it makes the end of the race challenging, very challenging, especially if you're going on to dries on a damp track, you know, and if you're not careful with your pressures. Ooh, we got Amos Movo in the pits.
I like it.
So he's opting for a very aggressive pit stop. So
very aggressive.
Yep, and with the dry tires.
His teammate Riley also in.
Predicted. Yeah.
I don't know if these dries will last that long, to be honest. I mean, it's already decreasing rain, and it's going to be decreasing rain even more. I mean, Amos obviously done a lot of practice in these conditions. Honestly, this is like, in terms of wet weather driving, this is probably one of the harder things to do. A lot of people would say, Anton, no, it's obviously when it's flooded. Yeah, obviously. I mean, like, when there's minimal amounts of grip on the track, it's going to be difficult. Yeah. But in terms of pressures and getting the car set up right, this in itself is very difficult. Very difficult. You got to get the brake ducts at the right level. Got to get the tires at the right pressure and temperature as well. Because if they're at a higher pressure, at a higher temperature, then I mean they're gonna fade away very quickly. So Amos Movo opting for a huge undercut, it seems. I wonder if Paul is gonna follow suit anytime soon. Maybe Brian Anderson, seeing that Jack Krause is gonna be on his bumper very soon, as if he's not already on his bumper. I mean, look at this. You can see there's not much spray coming up from the Lambo ahead of him. Ooh, he gets a nice run here, so keen to get that position back from him. Obviously, getting that pole position at the start of the race, losing it after a fantastic battle in Sector 1. Brian Anderson overtaking in Turn 3, but now Jack Krause is looking to return the favor. Got to defend the inside here, and he does. But that allows Jack Krause to get a possibly better exit, and I imagine on these grippy, slick tires, he might get that exit that he wants. It's going to be very close here and heading into the braking zone. Let's see what these two drivers decide to do. Brian Anderson defends into the corner, but Jack Krause is right alongside his axle. His driver's super respectful as they were on lap 1. Jack Krause up the inside, and he does make the pass. And Jack Krause, I mean, round of applause. I would not have had the guts, to not only make that move, but also to, go on the strategy. I thought it was crazy, but then again, anything can happen in these mixed weather races.
Too, yeah, but I mean that was. We've had two just fantastic battles between these two so far. Super clean, respectful racing between these two Lambo drivers. But yeah, that was a fantastic pass. I love those passes like that. They make it look like F1. When they go around the outside there. Ooh, speaking of side by side, it's not quite as. It is that kink in the road there always makes me so nervous when there's two cars side by side there.
Yeah, it seems like in these in this top 10 position battle for P10. Oh, I see Matt Higgs flashing his lights there, Kyle Barber. It seems more of a dogfight than it is at the front. So honestly, if I'm Brian, do you think about undercutting here?
I love undercutting. I love the undercut. So I have a hard time. I wouldn't be able to put myself in Brian's shoes, but if I were in Brian's shoes, I would definitely be thinking about the undercut.
One driver that's not thinking about the undercut, but thinking about making a pass for P4 here is Jason Allen. His McLaren, obviously in the top 5, already a great position for him to get some solid points here, but he really wants to assert himself as a competitor in this division. Obviously with the 2 drop races, Jason's had some strong races, some okay races, but this one could be good. He's got Thomas Olhausen right behind him, Juan Caro, Ethan Marvin challenging for that P7 right behind the 296. Jason Allen really showing Selena that, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to fight, let's go. So Scooby-Doo on FAF livery, let's see what happens. And Selena obviously going over to the right, every driver going over to the right. It's like an accordion, it seems. To cool their tires right before turn 1, because like you said earlier, not much opportunity to cool the tires here, but Juan Carr actually using that as an opportunity to defend from Ethan Marvin here. Ethan Marvin obviously having that straight line speed of the Lexus. Not the best brakes against the Ferrari having one of the better brakes in the GT3 class, if not the best brakes, behind probably the likes of the Porsche. Some other cars, of course, there are, if I'm forgetting any, but yeah.
Lambo has pretty good brakes.
Lambo's got good brakes. It's got obviously that built-in engine braking. What else has got some good brakes? Mustang. I don't see many Mustangs here.
Oh yeah,
so.
Mustang. Which we don't see any Mustangs.
Yeah. Listen, Mr. Sir, I said Mustang, okay? I got it. I got it. I got it. Don't you worry about me. I remember Matt Artem here fighting with Jason's other half, Mike Gino here, of team My Teammate Sucks. I guess yeah, nothing much to say about that team really. I think both drivers are pretty talented in their own rights. I mean, Gino's got.
Well, they're in P3, aren't they? So I mean,
yeah, I mean they're still up there for the team championship. Obviously, 4 minutes to go. It's still a bit of a dogfight, no pun intended here, with Mike Gino's livery being a Scooby-Doo. So, yeah, it's, said, oh, look at that. It's greasy. Time to box. Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Brian, go to the pits. You're 2 seconds behind. Go.
Wait, he doesn't pit? Wow. Yeah, I definitely would have pit there. Because at this point, I don't know if extending is that helpful.
Yeah, I don't think that the track conditions will improve much from greasy, to be honest. I mean, we saw
I don't think
in D1 yesterday that it started greasy and went green pretty quickly. And yes, it was raining to this level, but it didn't really go fast or anything at any point of the race. So at best, it's going to go green, but only towards the very, very end of the race.
I'm so surprised how few drivers pit there. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I might have pit the lap before, but like just knowing what I typically do. But yeah, Brian Anderson losing a lot of time to Jack Krause here, and I mean his last lap was way off Jack's last lap, so Jack Krause is probably relatively happy to extend, you know, a couple laps, especially as Brian is not going in. But yeah, I'm surprised Brian did not pit.
We do see, however, a lot of cars, obviously those gray icons in the pit lane past the start-finish line. I do wonder, this gaggle of cars here, you got obviously Mason Moffat in P3, not holding up necessarily a train, but he does have a couple of cars behind him with Selena Boonster, Jason Allen, and Thomas Olhausen, and Ethan Marvin still breathing down the bumper of Juan Caro here heading into the last corner once again. Do any cars decide to pit here? Answer is yes. Thomas Olhausen is in. I think that's the right strategy call. I think it is. So
I think it is.
We'll
I
see.
think it's absolutely the right strategy call.
A lot of cars are coming out of the pits, and look, Ethan Marvin and Juan Caro are racing here with the car coming out of the pits, and obviously that's going to be a blue flag of Sean Leach. Very close there, a little bit of bumping. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? These drivers are giving each other enough room just to be side by side through this very tight section here. So much respect between these two. Gotta say, this is some phenomenal racing we're seeing.
I was about as close as you could possibly be. I mean, they were hitting each other, but you know, before it actually, you know, some car goes off into the dunes there. But yeah, and they're still right next to each other into sector. Well, I guess we're well into sector 2 now. But yeah, this kind of part of the track where we've been seeing quite a bit of action. I feel like this is definitely not advantage to the Lexus here.
Depends if you got the braveness, the courage, and almost drove into the back of Juan Caro there. We see our first drive-through of the night. That's Philip Mueller. I guarantee that's going to be on pit entry. I guarantee that's going to be on pit entry.
I do too. Yeah, there's no way it was track limits.
That's very good.
That means he was within probably what 10 kilometers.
I believe so. Yeah, so Zandvoort pit entry is very tricky, obviously, and
it is.
We do see what we do not see is let's see Brian Anderson. Now not in P2, but he's in P14 now. So he did listen to our advice.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of pitters.
We got a lot of people pitting. Yeah, now.
Ooh, look at those! Look at those guys all
Mason,
into the pit
Selena,
at the same time.
Jason. Yeah.
Crucially, Ethan Marvin staying out. Jacob Hart right behind him. Obviously not in his race, so Jacob Hart already has pit.
On dry or slick tires?
Good question. No, he is not. He's on
Doesn't
wets.
Look like it. No. Yeah. Okay. So, well, Kyle was So Kyle Barber on the slick tires. I feel like a lot of the slick tire drivers are kind of extending here. Kind of want to check in with Paul Hartman. Yeah,
Let's see
did
where Paul
pit.
is.
Yeah, he fell back quite a bit, unfortunately. He's behind his. Oh yeah, Jack Cross, the leader. So he's blue flagged right now. Oh man.
It's got to be a gut punch for sure. Feeling. I don't know.
Well, one real positive for Paulie right now is he. We have 2 drop races because of COTA, but he had a fantastic race at COTA. So he is in, still really, really good shape for the championship. So having, one bad race, he could actually have 2 bad races now.
Jack Cross goes in.
Yeah.
A very safe pit entry as well. So seeing that Philip Mueller got that drive-through, did not want to have any risks. And I gotta say, with the lead that he had, I don't see how there was going to be any risk in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth risking going crazy into the pits when, you know, you have a solid lead, and especially if you're, you know, feeling comfortable. And he's covering off the undercut pretty early. So I don't think he's going to be feeling too much pressure right now.
Speaking of undercuts, look who undercut Selena Boonstra and Jason Allen.
Thomas Olhausen, yeah. So we were talking. I mean, that earlier pit stop definitely, you know, paying off very well for Thomas Olhausen here.
Absolutely.
He's now going to. I mean, he's now looking forward to Mason Moffitt, who's effectively a podium setter right now. He's sitting P3 effectively, but yeah. So. Yeah, definitely big. I mean, to get any passes, you know, free passes like that on this track is big. It's a hard track to pass at.
Absolutely. I think a lot of it also has to do with who's got the right pressures on these tires, because it's going to be tricky conditions. Obviously, you prepared for a rain race. What kind of setup did you load onto the car? A car that's got maybe some more open ducts or closed ducts, you know? The drivers like Jack Krause is a bit more linear, where obviously started on a dry tire. You got to close those ducts to keep the temperatures in the tires. You know, the brake pads are going to be really heating up, reaching possible temperatures of up to, you know, 900 degrees. If you're really, you know, closing the ducts there, then yeah, those dry tires are going to be in a decent window, to say the least, to drive in these wetter conditions. Yep, so
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody but so far Kyle Barber, Matt Artem, Taylor Johnston, and Ponzo Rigatoni has pit. Jack Krause regaining the lead that he had at the start with a fantastic strategy call after honestly not knowing that he was on dry tires versus Anderson's wet tires. I was surprised he was able to hold it, you know, side by side with him for that long on a wet track.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was funny because Sir pointed it out in the chat, and I almost didn't believe him after seeing them battle. I'm like, yeah, they look like they were on the same tires, but then, yeah, seeing him fly past. Oh, did the McLaren make it through there? Was that Jason Allen? Yeah, he did make it through there. It looked like he got a little sideways on the curb there, but looking like he's keeping it pointed straight. So that's good to see. I guess unless you're Diego, then it's not good to see. So we got two more pitters. So Taylor Johnson and Ponzo Rigatoni coming into the pits. And yeah, at this point, Matt Higgs with the fastest lap. And a pretty good lap there from Matt Higgs. 40.4. That is quite a bit faster than the next fastest lap, that lap. We're still looking for to see Jack Krause and see the pace he's going. Oh, we have a stop go 30 with Taylor Johnston for I'm can only assume speeding in the pit lane. But yeah, Jason Allen here, staying right on the back of Selena.
Hello?
Hey.
What? It literally happens at the same exact time in the race every week.
Whoa, they're both going. Oh, what on earth?
Really pushing it.
Both
I don't
going
agree
off
with that.
track there.
I don't agree with that.
That was wild.
Jason Allen really wants that position off of Selena Boonstra, I gotta say. I mean, they're both pushing off track, but Selena's like, I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. Not giving it in.
That was kind of funny. I mean, that like almost looked like the track was rendered in the wrong spot, and they were just like veering like off track. I mean, that I wouldn't feel like that's the line, but especially in greasy conditions like this. But
oh boy,
ooh,
we got a side by side here. Matt Higgs earlier was flashing Ethan Marvin.
Yeah, he was flashing. Yeah, don't know how you know happy they are with each other in this battle. We didn't see anything too crazy, but yeah, Matt Higgs really wanting to get around. Brian Anderson ended up taking that fastest lap from his teammate. Kyle Barber with a little detour into the sand there. He did pit, so he's on brand new tires. So hopefully he got those pressures all good. But yeah, Brian Anderson putting in a very respectable lap, and then wow, Jack Krause put in a
even faster time.
lap. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever you can do, I can do better.
We're into the 39s officially with that lap. Yeah, that's a pretty quick.
Track is into greasing up.
Yeah, it looks like the track is definitely getting faster. You know, on new tires. This is probably when the car is going to be feeling the best if you got your pressures and ducts and everything right.
Yeah, and we do have our last non-pitter, Matt Artem, into the pits, so everyone's fulfilled their pit requirement. Oh, Ethan Marvin's taking a small detour into the grass, but does keep the position, so tactical evasive maneuver to kind of maybe distract Miggs from being so focused on the flashing. So but yeah, currently our top three is as is from the start of the race, and Matt Higgs still flashing Ethan Marvin. I don't know if he's unhappy with him or something went on earlier in the race with him, but maybe Matt Higgs just likes pressing the flasher like Justin McKechnie does.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he might be trying to take the Flash Master. I can't say it.
Flash Master
title away. Yeah, Flash Master. I mean, hey, that's pretty tough.
Flash Master.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. Anyway.
Listen, it's less of an oopsie than one I had last week. If you know, you know. Yeah, another driver that's really close on track to the driver ahead is Jess Osborne and Mike Gino. Mike Gino breathing down the neck of the Carbon. Obviously not Carbon in the game, but Jess Osborne is slight rejoin. Oh, a little bit of bumping on the rejoin. That's going to be tough. Obviously, Gino being a head steward, he's gonna be like, I'm putting that straight into the sheet, but he doesn't get past Jess Osborne, so maybe he does give up the position. Gino does make good work of Jess Osborne into P14, or P13 rather, sorry about that. And up next, Pat Cockcroft in P12. I want to say a couple of seconds up the road, but it looks like he's about an entire main straight up the road, already heading into turn one. So good race for Pat Cockcroft. Definitely a resurgent form, showing a form here for the one-elbowed bandit, as I like to call him. It's the first time I ever called him that. But
from now on,
the Porsche looks pretty strong. Selena obviously being in the top 5. Pat Cockcroft P12, Jess Osborne P14. Jess really getting his mojo back after taking a season off. We do see a yellow flag that's going to be car 452, Taylor Johnson. Parallel to the wall, and does RTG.
Yeah.
I wonder if he did touch the grass like Amos did a couple of times in qualifying in that very scary turn 8. Yeah, I mean, definitely not the easiest of conditions. For sure. Taylor Johnson, obviously a newcomer from D4 last week. And he does get on the curb, does get on the grass, and that's going to be all she wrote for Taylor Johnson's race there. Ooh,
no.
Takes a little bit of a kick up from the rear of the car there. So caught some airtime. Definitely extra style points, but not for the race, unfortunately. Jason Allen looking to replicate what his teammate Mike Gino did to Jess's teammate. It looked like a little bit of a tap there.
Yeah.
It looked like, but yeah. Teammate attacking teammate almost, but
yeah.
Oh, Jason getting on the curb, really pushing it there. Selena again getting on the grass, courteously
Selena
moving over.
Loves the grass out there.
Yeah,
really feeling like it needs to be trimmed.
And
one thing I want to note is
go for it.
Well, I just wanted to note Movo. We didn't really talk about him much, but he's all the way up to P7. So I think he went into the pits. What, he was in P12 or P13, somewhere around there.
I think it was
when
maybe
he-
even higher up, or not higher
Yeah,
up, as
but,
in like a bit lower position.
Either way, he has gotten some positions out of his undercut strategy quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that driver ahead is Curtis Lee, I think a blue flagged car.
Yep.
But yeah, and so he's gonna be hoping to clear him quickly so he could keep on attacking ahead, and it looks like Curtis Lee just totally goes out of the way for him. So very nice of him.
Very generous, very nice. We do love a little bit of Curtis love around here. Obviously, one of the admins in SRA does head the endurance series with Jeff Spangler, along with the multi-class Mayhem, which is now a Thursday series on LMU. Obviously not on ACC anymore, but you know, it's nice to switch things up every once in a while. But Amos Movo back onto the conversation of the race. Up 8 positions from where he started. He's been on these tires for almost 22 minutes now, so yeah, one of the faster times stopped, so he spent about 32 seconds in the box. Key information is that Ethan Marvin did spend 34 seconds in the box, so he did lose up some time. Maybe that's why he's not as close to Amos Mova as he was before the pit stops. But yeah, you gotta nail everything while you can. It's a short race, it's a sprint format, gotta be on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I wonder how his tires are going to be feeling in 20 minutes time, though. Probably graining. It does look like Matt Higgs, did get around Ethan Marvin. Am I reading that correctly, or is that?
You are reading that correctly.
I am reading it. Yeah.
Question is, was it a decisive pass or not? Because it looks like Ethan Marvin did lose a lot of time and is now falling under the clutches of Kyle Barber behind in the BMW M4. So I don't know. Obviously we didn't see it. We can only assume. Well, one can hope that it was a clean pass, but with Matt Higgs flashing, I can imagine that maybe there was some turmoil in between them, and he does go on the curb there. Kyle Barber going around the outside does turn in a little bit onto Ethan Marvin there. Ethan Marvin still holding the outside for this turn 10. Kind of squeezing him to the inside, saying, I want this inside. He does. Ooh, Kyle Barber with balls of steel going up the inside.
Yeah,
very, very strong, courageous move there from Kyle Barber into P9. Ethan Marvin's holding or falling back into the clutches of Juan Caro, who he was fighting at the start of the first stint quite fiercely as well. So we did see that side by side. So Ethan Marvin, a culprit of some fantastic racing this week, as he usually is. You know, Lexus is always racy. If you can stay close, you could force some side by sides going to the braking zones, but it's always difficult to race a car that's got some pretty garbage brakes. So honestly, some big
Sure.
respect to him for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I wouldn't, if I was Ethan, I wouldn't be fighting too horribly hard, because, these are gold drivers that he's fighting against. He is leading the silver, but the more that the harder he fights these drivers, the more he falls back into Pat Cockcroft's clutches and, can be, under attack. And that, position means a lot more, because that's for the silver championship there.
Just goes a bit wide on the apex,
Yeah.
Philip Mueller does have the inside. These guys, I can't believe that these drivers are able to hold it side by side through turn 2. It's such a difficult corner, because it just comes up on you so fast, and these drivers are still side by side.
Yeah.
GTR having the outside line, having that acceleration, and does make the move. So far, Justice is not going to be done, though. He's going to want to get that position back from Philip Mueller after suffering from that drive-through at the start of his second stint.
That's only 7 positions lost so far. I mean, granted, we
Not too
didn't,
bad.
See where he could have been after the strategy and everything, but
Absolutely.
Honestly, all things considered, that's not too bad for how close, usually D2 is. 7 positions with a drive-through, it could be a lot worse. That's, something with these rain races that, definitely kind of spreads things out a bit more.
Speaking of close, or rather not close, is the gap from P2 to P3. So Brian Anderson and Jack Ross have completely checked out from Mason Moffitt. Mason Moffitt currently 15 seconds behind P2. But hey, It's not about, you know, how you finish, it's about where you finish. So, you know, even if you win by the race by 20 seconds or half a second, points are points, right? So P3 would be very strong, not only for his championship campaign, but as a driver, having that morale boost halfway through the season, heading into some challenging tracks. Coming up next week, we obviously have Mount Panorama, Bathurst, and McLaren is quite strong there. You're going to be running low wing. You got to be, you know, on it, right? Mount Panorama's got no room for error. So this is a good confidence boost heading into the latter stages of the season.
I know that well from last time I raced there.
Wasn't I telling you to put more wing in the car?
You were, you know, that wasn't the problem though. I had skill issue because I kept, you know, touching the grass and I braked
and why
on
were you
grass.
touching the grass? You had no downforce.
No, it was in braking. It was.
Yeah, no
it was
downforce
skill
in the
issue.
brakes. That's what wings do. They help you brake.
No. Well, no. Except I would brake on the grass.
Oh, well, that's a big problem. But I do want to say that these cars are going quite slow. Ethan Marvin and Juan Caro getting into a little bit of a loosey-goosey, dicey battle here. Because I did see Pat Cockcroft actually does get past. So, like you were mentioning earlier, don't really want to fight with these drivers too much. And let's see what happened here. So Ethan Marvin goes with the curb at turn 8. I think both drivers just... I hope I can catch on the replay, but Juan Caro goes for the... I mean, we can imagine what happened there.
Yep. Yeah, I think we could fill in the
Just paint a picture in your heads, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly what happened.
Yeah. So now, Pat Cockcroft is our leading silver driver, and sitting in top 10 as well.
Yeah, very solid result so far for Pat Cockcroft. I imagine not where he would have expected to be honest. You know, he's done, most notably, his main practice is actually in the quote-unquote Sunday Funday races that we host throughout the weekend. So, you know, getting that race practice in is nice.
Within that, you know, he always makes those calls in all the the channels in the Discord to get out on track on Sunday.
It's not just Sunday that we do these races, of course. You know, it's a public lobby. A lot of drivers just hop in there, even on Friday, on Saturday. You know, we're a tight-knit community here in SRA, so we're not just a bunch of, you know, sim racers like maybe you know, maybe portrayed.
We kind of are.
I mean, we are sim racers, but like, there's more than meets the eye, right? So
yeah.
I mean, like, you know, take you for example. You know, you're a mountain man. You know, you like music. You're a music producer.
True.
Me, for example, I'm just unemployed.
Well, on that note,
Jason Allen on the rear bumper salute of Boonstra does have the slipstream, but not going to be able to make much of anything of it because you know, it's a short straight. McLaren's not got that insane top end that you know, some other cars do, like the Mustang, the Lexus. I almost said the Leclerc, but you know,
yeah,
it's got an X in its name, not a CLERC. Speaking of, you know, that guy got engaged to Alexandra, so
that's true.
That's cool. I guess that's where his focus was this season instead of racing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Ferrari, you know, haven't really given him much to focus on elsewhere.
Just an incident.
But yeah, these two have been just glued to each other for quite some time here in this race.
I'm having intrusive thoughts, Donovan.
What?
You know how we got the capability of dragging people in this voice channel? I see there's a yellow flag between Ponzo and Justin on the last corner, and Jack Russ is heading up to them right now. They're both facing the wrong way. I don't know what happened. They probably got into an accident. Let's see what happened between these two. Obviously, Ponzo a little bit behind. I guess he's ahead of Jacob Hart. Stays on the side of the road. So what happens to Justin? Does Ponzo just rejoin and Justin's
no, no.
Oh my god!
Did they actually touch there?
I think it was very close, and I'm sad I didn't click the bumper camera beforehand.
That is
Otherwise, it would have been nice to see.
A bummer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Justin is not going to be too happy with that.
No, he's not, especially considering that those two were teammates before. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both OBDA brothers.
yeah, not ideal. Especially with the leader coming up behind you. I imagine that was a very code brown moment for Jack Krause as he was, traversing the two perpendicular facing cars of Justin McKechnie and Ponzo.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see
on.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see on the fastest version of the track.
Not ideal,
that's for
sure. By any such of imagination. Yeah, but the gaps have really, kind of stabilized. Obviously, you have Jack Krause holding the lead, also holding the purple lap. So currently obtaining, I believe, the first Grand Slam race week of any driver this season in D2. I guess you can can I get a fact check on that real quick? Possibly. I mean, let's go through the races, right? So we got Silverstone, Amos was on pole, Matt Higgs won, so that's obviously not a Grand Slam. Season 1 or week 1?
I have no idea, but week 1, yes.
Week 1, right? Week 2, we had, I believe it was Paulie Hartman on pole.
And Brian won.
Not a Grand Slam. Valencia, we had Amos on pole. Right? Yes. So that was our first Grand Slam. Because he did get that purple lap.
Did he get purple lap?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, he blew it out of the water. He did a 30.6.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? He's faster than me. Oh my god, another yellow flag. We got stuff happening. Justin Zamora. See what happened here to the Lambo man. The teammate of Jack Krause. Let's see.
Maybe it was Sean Leach. I don't know if something happened here.
I can only imagine I don't think it was a collision, to be honest. It's going to be in a high-speed corner. Maybe Sean Leach got a little bit disoriented. Tristan Zamora just not expect. Oh.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Disoriented.
Tristan Zamora just... Whoa, that was a... Oh.
What?
That was a really bad spot to stop on track.
That was interesting.
A word of advice, ladies and gentlemen. If you're blinking in and out, don't just stop on track, because those drivers, you might just phase in and out of them, and it gets ugly, and it's kind of a mess in terms of stewarding.
That was
very close. Very close.
Yeah. Well, good thing nothing happened there. Nothing
to see.
Contact, at least. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Justin in the chat, in the YouTube chat.
Let's see what Justin said.
He didn't say anything.
Emoji.
He just emoji. He said emoji. Well,
Justin, not a man for a lot of words. Making his feelings known in the YouTube chat about how this race is going. I imagine, not really much to blame on Ponzo. Just the car getting a little bit out of sorts on the fast corner. And in these tricky conditions, I think it was bound to happen at some point. It's going to be tough on these pretty grained tires at this point, right? So a lot of people who pit onto these tires, Amos Novo, he was shortening that gap to Matt Higgs earlier on, but now it's increased back up a little bit. Now he's at the clutches of Kyle Barber.
Am I confused? Because I'm pretty sure he was ahead of Matt Higgs.
Yeah, he was. So those tires are screaming for mercy. His last lap was a 41.7 and Kyle Barber with a 40.1. So a lap delta of 1.6 seconds between the two drivers. So Amos Movo can have to play the defensive mode, yeah.
Yeah, and he is 4.7 behind Matt Higgs. So yeah, his tires are probably grained.
I think at this point, if you're Amos Movo, you still got to be happy with the result. Obviously, not the best qualifying session. Sure. I imagine he's extremely frustrated with himself, as I would be if I've struggled with the same corner 2 laps in a row. But getting a good enough qualifying lap in, and then also just getting the strategy right, getting the tire pressures right, putting yourself in the top 10. It's a good position for the championship to be. And Kyle Barber, they're both facing the wrong way. What do you do here? Amos is going the wrong way. He has to rejoin. Oh, he's on the curb. He's on the curb. Oh, no. Oh, he's reversing.
Oh, no.
We're witnessing a 3-point turn in real time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
And
that was pain. And he is going to be falling down, yeah, quite a bit. What is this? Down to P13. Oh no! It almost looked like he got beached there. Almost.
Almost. I mean, imagine if that was in the game. Like, I think
Yeah.
crazy. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it before, if I'm being honest.
Hold on. Jason Allen has fallen back a significant amount to Selena Boonstra. I wonder what happened here.
Oh.
Because now he's 7 seconds behind. Oh, Matt Higgs also tapped him. You cannot tap admins. They will ban you. I'm kidding. But he does wait for him, so
he does wait, yeah. Jason's still gonna submit that for sure. But yeah, that is that's a shame. That was nice of him to wait. You know, that would bring down a penalty, you know, to a downgrade. But
let me just say, Diego, we don't condone murders.
Diego does.
Well, if it's on Jason, possibly. If it's on Doug.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, Lord have mercy what Diego's going to do. He's going to send, in his words, I'm going to send the pillars shooters after whoever did that.
He would still condone it. You know, just
I guess, but it would be a different form of murder. It wouldn't be
slightly
ACC murder. It
different.
would be a little bit more of a gruesome murder. But Mike Gino, actually, I do want to give a shout out to Mike Gino. You know, obviously not having the best of qualifying, up 11 positions. So I think he's our biggest mover of the race in terms of net positions. Yeah, up 11 spots.
Yeah, that's
very good. Very good race from Mike Gino.
Yeah, really good. He's just wanting to finish as close as he can to Jason, but also for his, you know, again, these two, or you know, Jason and Gino are P3 in the championship, in the team championship right now going into this race. And obviously, you know, things are going to change a little bit because, you know, that is, you know, not factoring in our second drop race. I think that was factoring in the one drop race, but that isn't factoring in the second one. So things are going to change a little bit. It'll be a little bit harder to follow along too, but
Kyle Barber's seeking out his next victim to hit into the chicane. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, by the way. just some playful banter. Pat Cockcroft, after Amos Mova spinning out from P8, is into P8 now, inheriting that position. So really, you know,
great from Pat.
It goes to show. After commentating D4 last season, we had couple standout drivers who, you know, just ran their own race. Notably, we had Tyler Thompson and Steven Sarver, two drivers that really just, you know, keep their nose clean, make the smart strategy calls, you know, which Pat Cockcroft has done thus far this race. With 6 minutes to go, it's going to be a pretty decisive pass from Kyle Barber if there's going to be any more position swaps from these two drivers. But yeah, Pat Cockcroft with a fantastic race so far. Of course, you know, starting in P13 up to P8. I mean, it's a fantastic result thus far.
Yeah, again, if I'm Pat in this situation, you know, I wouldn't be too crazy about defending this position, just because you have such a lead over the next silver driver. And obviously, you know, when you're see that, whoa, these drivers are close to each other. This one is definitely a bit more spicy, you know, both silver drivers between these two. Very different kinds of cars.
No!
We have more.
I knew it was going to happen too.
Yeah. Ah, man. Looked like
I think he's waiting for him, but it's in a really awkward spot. Really awkward spot. Doing some lawn mowing. Does wait for Ethan Marvin, and yeah, that's it. Oh my God, Max Diggs having to take a voting action from Rowdy Burns there. I have seen better rejoins, I will say, but
nobody died from the rejoin, so and Raf Cab makes it through as well. So yeah, Rowdy losing out a lot on that, you know, and that's something with, you know, it's like, yeah, it's definitely, you know, a polite thing to do to wait for that. But but he definitely lost more than a 10-second penalty
For sure.
with doing that.
I think another polite thing to do is to not hit them in the first place. But
For sure.
if that can be
For
if that
sure.
can't be avoided, then at least we're waiting for people. You know, that's it's always a nice touch, a nice respect moment. But Matt Artem here, of course, Mike Gino holding up P11, but Matt Artem hungry to get some more points, more positions as the as I said before, token Audi driver in SRA. I believe he owns an RS4.
Oh, really?
Oh, yellow flag. What is that? A hairpin?
That's
Jess Osborne. Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see what happened to the Jess Osborne there. Let us see. So nobody around on
You
track
touch grass?
except for Sean Leach. So maybe the Porsche getting a little bit out of hand on the
Oh,
curb there.
yeah.
So I mean, those tires are gone.
What
Well, I think he got on
it's
the
just
wet
the
line.
tires.
Mamma mia!
Man.
I gotta keep the
Yeah.
folks at home entertained. You know me.
True. But
Look at this,
yeah,
hold
those
on. Oh
tires
my
definitely
God.
not looking
Side by
happy
side.
there.
Wait. Oh, I thought I was gonna get the pass around the outside, but Kyle Barber, 3 minutes to go. Jack Krause obviously still holding P1. Brian Anderson also P2. Mason Moffitt in P3. The gap from P3 to P2 has grown substantially. It is 25 seconds now. Kyle Barber,
Yeah, that's
about
insane.
25 milliseconds seemingly behind Pat Cockcroft's bumper. And yeah, this fight ain't over. We got about 3 laps left. I think Jack Krause is going to be doing maybe 2 more laps. So, hey, look, if this race had gone any longer, look, there's a bit of increasing rain. So, strategy. Oh, look at this. We got another fight here. Matt Higgs getting past Jason Allen into turn 1. So, possibly a decisive move here. You want to see what happened here between these two because these were fighting for a while. Jason Allen was holding off Matt Higgs, but also attacking Selena a couple of laps ago. And after getting hit by Matt Higgs, that was losing a lot of time. But Matt Higgs, ooh, Jason Allen doesn't get the best of exits. Let's see. Yeah, he's just got the superior run on him, and Jason Allen sticking to the outside. I think he's just gonna let him go. Ooh, they're ankles between the two. Matt Higgs does stick the inside pretty decisively though, so it's gonna be up to P6. Very good points for Rorschach Road Rage. Is that how you say it? Rorschach?
I have absolutely no idea.
Maybe that's something to something to check on.
ask.
But
I mean, hey, we are gonna get Brian very likely into the booth.
Commentator's curse.
25-second gap on Mason Moffitt. That is, I feel like that's
surely
pretty safe.
nothing will happen.
I feel like
Oh, that's a yellow
pretty
flag.
safe.
That's Ethan Marvin. And Riley,
Oh,
he
no.
loses so many positions. Wow, he was fighting for top 10, top 8 at some point, and now he's all the way down. What is that, P23? So Ethan Marvin's tires, I think, seemingly just gone. So side by side here with Riley Greer, does get the edge on him here into turn 2, and he just gets on the grass. Same thing with Matt Higgs that happened earlier. Riley Greer around the outside. What happened here? Ooh, a little bit touching. Ah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know what happened there, to be honest. To be honest.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, when stuff just starts going wrong, sometimes it's hard to.
It just keeps on
keep
going
things
wrong, you know?
together. Yeah, it just all falls apart. Speaking of gaps, the gap that Pat Cockcroft has to P2 in the silver, I mean that's P8 through P17. I mean that's a huge gap. That is really big for the silver championship there.
Absolutely. It'd take saying leader. Did they say leaders on final lap or something? Because
I don't
this
think
is
so.
oh, they said the pit window
It'll be
has
one more
closed.
lap.
So no more pitting, no more new tires. It's going to be the final lap. We're going to stay on board with Jack Krause as he does take his reconnaissance lap around Zandvoort for the last time tonight. Jack Krause obviously having that pole position, losing out to Brian Anderson on the opening lap after a fantastic battle between the two drivers. The two Lamborghinis holding steady, and the time ticks down to 0. Jess Osborne in the pits, seemingly retiring from the race, which gotta say I'm a little bit surprised considering that the race is over already. So might as well have taken the checkered flag. Maybe there were some issues or just a rage quit. But yeah, not the best race for our championship leaders who are actually pretty close to each other. So Amos Women P13, Polly Hartman P15. We're separated by the Nissan of Philip Mueller. But Jack Krause right ahead, or right behind Riley Greer. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, pretty fantastic strategy call from him at the start of the race. Oh, and the race ain't over yet. Look at this. These two are side by side. So Colbert made the pass in turn 1. Oh, and Pat Cochran gets on the curb, and so does Kyle Barber. These two are not done. Wait, did Pat spin? No, he's beached. Get on the track, Pat. No! Get on the track. Go, 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 go. Wait for Curtis. Is he still lead silver?
No.
I think so. Amos also spun on the first corner.
I think he is, yeah.
And, oh my god, wait, did Amos lose out to Pauly? Oh, he did.
Yes, he did. He did.
Oh,
my goodness.
What?
Went off here.
That's crazy. And Jack Krause crosses the line as a winner this season. Fantastic race, Jack Krause. Give yourself a bow. Round of applause.
Yeah, that was...
Pat on the back, whatever you want to say. Oh, he's rejoining on the track. You can't park there, mate. What are you doing? What is he? Oh, he's doing donuts. Yeah, and he hits the wall.
Doing donuts.
Let's check that bonnet.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that grass. It looks so nice. That foliage looks amazing. Anyway, fantastic race from Jack Krause and Brian Anderson as well. Obviously making that early advantage on the wet tires, which dissipated quite quickly and gave the advantage to the dry tires. Jason Allen crossing the line in P7. Not the result he would have wanted after getting that slight love tap. Oh my god, that's a car going up the barriers over there. But yeah, this race was super interesting. I gotta say, super interesting. Matt Artem on the grass, pushing until the very last minute. So is Gino, so is Caro. Drivers seemingly separated on the track from start to finish. And yeah, we still have a train here. Amos Movo pulling up a couple cars. It's going to be Sam Serino and Kevin Nichols in P16 and 17. So race ain't over yet for these guys. And Amos Movo is going to come across the line in P15, finishing very key position right behind Pauly Hartman. So what turned as a good strategy call for Amos turned into calamity after the bump from Kyle Barber in the entry of the chicane. So, oh my god, what's going on here? Hold on. Is he waiting?
Is he out of gas?
Maybe?
He might be out of fuel.
Push your teammate, Ethan! Push your teammate! No!
Oh, no. No.
Go, Rev! No! Get out the car and push! Get out! Well, he doesn't have gas.
Okay.
What?
Something happened. I don't know if something...
What?
What? I don't know what happened.
What? Anyway, I think that's the... Everyone has crossed the line, right? We still have another car on
everyone's
track.
crossed the line. Yeah.
984. Is that this Thomas Olhausen just, you know, he's just driving.
He does the in laps. He does the in laps. He's all about the full immersion.
I believe he's in VR as well, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Love it.
He goes for the in laps.
Love it. Fantastic race today, Donovan. That was pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the race so far? Or I guess so far, the race just ended.
The race, yeah. It was a great race. Strategy was crazy. Things really popped off at the end there. I feel like I'd need a second to process all the changes that happened at the end there. But yeah, a bit of a shaken up a little bit. But I mean, Brian Anderson, you know, has had a pretty strong season, and so another strong finish from him. But yeah, a fantastic race from Jack Krause. So
absolutely.
We'll see, do we see him?
Yep, I do see our resident ginger, as we call him, Pat Cockcroft.
Yeah, we do have
winner.
Pat Cockcroft. Yeah,
after going off track, I'm gonna drag him in. I don't know. Pat, have you been here? When was the last time you were in the interview booth?
I think it was like season 7 or 8 after Laguna.
Well, it's good to have you back, buddy. First of all, I want to say that was an extremely impressive race from start to finish for you until obviously the very end. A little bit of indecisiveness from
Scary.
yeah, it was a bit scary, I gotta say. So I mean, nothing to really take away from your performance that race.
Yeah, thanks. That was very sweaty.
I bet. Yeah. How did the qualifying go? So seeing that the gold drivers had the extra rain coming, but as we did see in D1 last night, that didn't really matter. The track still got better with the silver drivers on track. How did what mindset did you put yourself in for quality entering the race?
Yeah, I think that they were just going to have maybe a slightly drier line, and I was stoked to have P1 for a while there, and then what's his face, Martin, I think. Marvin, yeah, Marvin got it on me at the last second, and I just went in and practiced the pit. But starting P2, I was pretty happy with that in silver. And then luckily survived lap 1, which is always a challenge around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, especially with these tricky conditions. So we did see a lot of differing strategies at the start of the race. Were you, I don't know if we caught it or not, but were you one of the drivers that started on slicks? Because we saw a tremendous battle for P1 and P2. One driver started on slick tires, the other started on wet tires. So curious to see, did you go through any decision making there? Was there a consensus on the tire that you were going to pick, or was there obviously some discussion?
Went wet and happy with that decision. I know Movos pit right before me, and I knew he was going to go for dries, and I was just keeping an eye on his lap times, and they were still similar to mine. So I decided to run out my tires a little bit longer, even though they were, cherry red.
Yes, tomato red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine those tires.
Or ginger red.
Yep. I mean, maybe a pigment of orange in there. Our resident ginger SRA D2 driver, Pat Cockcroft. Yeah, I mean, first of all, great to see you up here for the first time this season, and not just this season, but like you mentioned, it's been a while. So, hoping for, especially in these trickier races, having a good result is always going to feel a little bit better than, where those races have those static conditions in the dry or full wet. So yeah, super impressive drive today, Pat. Really hats off to you.
Yeah, I feel like I do better in these the mixed ones. Thanks.
Yeah. Any shouts before we send you back?
First of all, to you guys, thanks for commentating. Appreciate you. And definitely to my teammate Panzo. Love that guy. And, everyone that just does all the things behind the scenes.
Absolutely. We got our...
And everyone that joins the practice races that, Friday and Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, we did chat those out.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I was going to say, you do a lot of your practice in those races. So practice does pay off, especially in these races. So, yeah. Well, Pat, our fellow brother in elbow, singular. Again, for those of you who don't know on stream, Pat has had not the best luck with his elbow. He races one-armed on I think it's the McLaren GT, like the CSL wheel, right? So yeah, at least you have the gear shifter. It's a lever. So if it wasn't for that, I don't know how you'd be driving. But dude, it's always impressive.
I mean, the other arm works. It would just be hard to do it around a turn.
Yeah, but it's the coveted beer arm trademark, So not many beer straights at Zandvoort, unfortunately.
Yeah, this one wasn't great for that. Yeah.
I did not finish my one.
Unfortunate. Well, you got some time now to relax, to enjoy a cold one, and you can give yourself a pat on the back for a solid result, Pat. So yeah, for sure, great job today again, and we'll send you back. So have a great rest of your evening, man.
Awesome. You guys too. Thanks again.
Thank you. All right, Patty Ice, Patty Ginger, Patty Cockcroft, Pat Cockcroft with a fantastic result. Good to see him back up here. Obviously, we had a podium return from Paulie this season, so it's nice to see some other nice staples in SRA get their time in the spotlight. So Pat Cockcroft, one of those drivers, organizing those Sunday practice races. Very important to practice racing around other cars, especially in tricky conditions like this. So hats off to him, and obviously fantastic job all race long. we are going to move forward with our podium now. So I believe P3 is Mason Moffat, and I do see him. So let's drag him up here. Oh yeah, Mason Moffat. First of all, welcome back to the booth because I remember commentating D4, and you were seemingly up here all the time. So how does it feel being back up here?
Well, it's been a while, and I practiced a lot for this one. I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, no, I bet. I mean, P3,
Awesome, yeah.
awesome performance. Talk us through, first of all, qualifying. How did you feel when you saw the radar say there's going to be increasing rain? Because I went through a loop, personally.
Well, originally, I thought to myself that I should get out on track first, and then I was watching my teammates lap, and I completely forgot about it. So then I was like out in the middle-ish, but I didn't think it was going to affect it that much since we had the dry line compared to the silver drivers. So I kind of just winged it, and I didn't have the most practice on wet. I had it more on greasy, damp, and dry. So I was surprised at the performance of qualifying.
Well, you heard it here first. You don't need to practice. You can just wing it and get a P3 like Mason did. So, I mean, listen, nothing to take away from your performance there. Even if you did wing it, I mean, P3 is a fantastic job nonetheless. So, going into the race, we did ask Pat this as he was our first interview of tonight. How was the decision between starting on slicks and wets? We did see a few drivers start on the slick tire, and it proved to be decisive about 8 minutes into the race. Was that something that was going on in your mind, or were you just sticking to your guns and going to the wets?
I was thinking 100% wets. The dries, even coming out of the pits when it was greasy, felt very slippery, and I feel like it's more important to have consistency and just more control over the car in the starting laps compared to overall like pace, because you're going to be around so many people.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
I mean, it looked like the right call to start the race, but it turned into a possible, strategy masterclass for those who started on slicks. I mean, it was super entertaining to watch. Yeah,
So real quick, did you know that Jack was on the slicks on that first?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he started on
Really?
slicks.
That's
Crazy.
Yeah, so he
very
started on slicks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you should go check out the race start. I mean, you were obviously sitting right behind and watching it all unfold, but imagine like put yourself in that situation where you're going side by side with a car that's obviously on the right tire at that situation at that point of time, and then, I mean, I don't know, it's crazy to think about. Anyway, Mason, congratulations for a P3, very solid result. Yeah, any shout outs for your return to the podium? Yeah, it's been a while, so it's good to see you back up here.
Yeah, shout out to my family and my dad for letting me use his sim, and shout out to you guys for commentating this race.
Well, we appreciate it as much as I imagine Donovan appreciates it. I mean, a lot.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of questions to ask, but I mean, it was so much has happened today. It's crazy. Super entertaining race. I mean, so yeah, congratulations, Mason, once again for P3. How are you looking forward to next week? We got Mount Panorama. So, you excited? Nervous? How we feeling?
Never raced there before. Looks challenging. I'm gonna do a bunch of laps, see what I can do.
Sounds good. Well, definitely don't wing that race because Bathurst is tricky. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. But yeah, Mason, again, congratulations. We're gonna send you back to the D2 race chat, and yeah, one more time, fantastic job. So hope to see you back up here in the coming weeks of the remaining parts of the season.
Thank you.
All right, that's 2 down, Donovan. Is that? I feel like it's a record for the season.
Yeah, we've been a bit talky in the booth. All right, let's see. So we got
Brian Anderson left and Jack Krause. So let's bring in Brian.
Right there.
Yep. Brian Anderson, welcome back to the booth for is it the second time this season? It is third time maybe.
Yep.
The second time?
Thank you. Yeah, it's the second time. Yeah.
Second time. This time P2, not the P1 you would have hoped for, but man, what a battle on lap 1. Talk us through it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a huge gamble. I figured there was going to be a mix of wet and dries. I picked the wets because I did it in the practice race and it was decent. I just under pressured them. As soon as I got on the grid, I looked right and I saw that Kraus was on the dries. I was like, this is going to be interesting. So I figured I'd have the advantage at the start. So I did everything I could to battle him at the start. I had the tire advantage, got the spot, but it turns out the dries were probably the right choice in the long run. I figured I'd be able to hold him back, but when he finally caught me, I couldn't put up a good enough fight. I did everything I could, and he was just driving better. So hats off to Jack. He well-deserved win. It was super fun fighting him both times, so he executed everything perfectly, and I'm happy with the P2.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, from that race, a P2 is extremely impressive to get, especially with the tricky conditions, not just from qualifying, but into the race as well. I really thought that a lot of drivers would have pit earlier, given that the track went greasy about 20 minutes into the race. So, and it's incredibly difficult to think on the fly at this racetrack.
It's weird because I didn't see greasy that early on. I think it was still damp from my end until after I pit. So I kept going. Pressures were fine. They were getting pretty hot, which is like I wanted to pit around 40. I just didn't know how far out the forecast went. It only goes 30 minutes, and I didn't want there to be a surprise rain like 10 minutes from the end. So I pushed on for like another couple of laps until I think it was 35 minutes left, something like that. I finally went in. So I lost a couple seconds to Kraus there, and then once I pit and got the fresh tires on, I think I held decent pace with him, but every lap he was just like a tiny bit faster, and he kept getting fastest laps. I held on within like 3 or 4 seconds for most of it, but there was no way for me to go any faster and make any headway on him. So just, yeah, hats off again to perfect race by Jack.
Well, you guys seem to be kind of in a league of your own there, finishing super
took
far
the words
up
right out of my mouth. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished
I was
like
also
25
keeping an
seconds
eye.
ahead of him. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was also keeping an eye behind and on Moffitt and company, and I saw the gap kept growing and growing, and I figured, yeah, it's got to be. It can't just be like they're on the wrong tires. It's got to be something with the car just fit for these exact conditions. So we got a little lucky there. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. My teammate was getting pretty good laps down. He had the fastest lap for a few times, but unfortunately he was stuck and he couldn't really pass a lot of cars. So he made up quite a few spots, but he could have been further up with a better quality results. Unfortunately, that was not in the cards today. So, but he gained a lot of spots. So.
Yeah, very good team
something
result.
about the car today.
Very good team result though for you guys. So you're obviously campaigning for the team championship, not with your usual teammate Josh Damiani, but a different, half of I guess is Higgs Madhouse, I believe so.
Yeah, he's Madhouse, and I'm Champion Motorsports, and now we're kind of a mixed bag, but we're having fun. It's fun driving with Matt.
Hey, that's what we're here for, right? It's all about community here in SRA. So we're glad to see some companionship between two.
There's a truce.
Yeah.
not with OBDA and Madhouse. We don't like those guys. But,
I don't speak for OBDA.
That's right. Donovan and I do. But yeah, dude, fantastic race. Any shout outs? Any shout outs you want to give before we send you back?
Yeah, obviously shout out to my teammate Matt, everyone at Madhouse, everyone at Champion Motorsports. Just had a great week. Also, shout out to my family and my wife, who's very supportive of this hobby. So I'm just happy to be driving.
Awesome.
Here. Thank you,
awesome, Brian.
Everyone for commentating as well.
Well, we thank you for putting on a show. Otherwise, we wouldn't really. We would just be looking at a screen and just probably talking about how I don't know the track was wet, nice weather outside. I mean, without that lap one, who knows where I'd be, right? So. Yeah, very phenomenal stuff this weekend. And we're looking forward to seeing you at Mount Panorama next week. You excited for that track? You like it?
I love Bathurst. Bathurst. It's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Yep, awesome.
Yep,
So
bring it
looking
on.
forward to seeing you there next week. And yeah, Brian, again, congratulations on the P2. Super strong result. We will see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you. See you then.
Have a good night. Yeah, so like we said earlier, so Mount Panorama, one of those love-hate tracks. Well, more on that later. We do have to get to our final interview of the night with Jack Rouse. I imagine he's been waiting for quite a bit, so let's drag him up. The pole boy, the fastest lap boy, and the winner, Jack Krause. Welcome to the booth. Is it for the first time? Have you won a race before?
I have never won a race. I've never been on the podium, actually.
Welcome to the welcome to
Wow.
the damn club.
Yeah.
It's one way to kick it off.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Happy to
so,
be here.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Jack, I mean, I gotta say, I said this to Brian, absolutely electric lap one between you two. Loved watching it.
I
Especially,
had a feeling lap one was going to be kind of crazy after watching
Yeah.
the D1 lap one. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that one was
gonna be wild.
insane. That one was nuts. But even crazier to think about after witnessing that lap one was the fact that you started on the slick tires, and that proved to be the decisive move of the race. It all started even before the race even started. So tell us, Mr. Wise One, the strategy god, Jack Krause, how did you come to this decision?
All right, I'm going to be real with you guys. This was like the gods from heaven came down and said, this is what you're going to do. I had very little practice this week. I practiced on that exact weather. That was it.
Wow.
I figured
That's
out
so
that
lucky.
strategy, and I realized that slicks super high with like just zero brake ducts was the way to go, and I got lucky as hell that it stayed like that the whole race. I knew at the start that if Brian was on wets, I was probably gonna fall behind, but I was like, as long as I don't lose too many positions, I think I'll be able to come back, and that's exactly what happened. So I just got hella lucky with my practice time, and it worked out.
That is
I mean,
amazing.
Talk about
That's
talk
incredible.
about cashing in your lottery ticket for the year.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's insane. I actually had all my setups wiped from all my work done this weekend, so I was actually kind of in the same boat where the one setup I did have kind of did suit the race. It was actually more that it suited the qualifying conditions were similar to the race, so it was easy to go from one to the other. But yeah, dude, I just want to say that was an excellent strategy call. I probably wouldn't have made it on my own, but I guess when it counts, right? So you're on the right tire on the right time. You made that, decisive pass on Brian heading into the last two corners of the racetrack. And from there, you just didn't look back. Full beans, won the race. Grand Slam, Jack Krause, winner.
Thank you very much. I was stressing my balls off the whole time, but I'm happy that I was able to pull it through. So it was a good time.
Yeah, it's some good redemption for your season last season, where you're just forced to drive the Mercedes, being Jacob's teammate. I remember that. So
Yeah.
I really felt bad for you at the time, dude. I was like, he doesn't know what he's getting into.
Well, if you told me back then that the price of suffering for a season is a nice clean win, I would have taken it 100%.
Damn right. I love that attitude. I love it. Optimism at its highest. Speaking of optimism, something you might need at Bathurst next week. Are you going to practice more for that race? How do you feel about going to that one?
Bathurst, I feel better. Zandvoort was actually the only track in the game that I still hadn't played before. And it just kind of clicked, I guess. Bathurst I've played a bit. I think as long as I don't get caught up in likely the inevitable chaos, I think I'll be okay. It'll be interesting though, because last time I drove, I was in a Ferrari and we went kind of high wing in an endurance race, and passing was basically non-existent. But quali was good, so I think I'm going to try the opposite, but I have no idea how I'm going to fare with the Lambo and low wing, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Lambo's got that mechanical grip, of course, so going to have to find a nice balance of the setup from quality to race. And a lot of it is just going to be a race of attrition, kind of similar to what Zandvoort was, what Coda was, what Silverstone was. All these tracks with, things that can just go wrong, either track limits or conditions. It's always at play. So obviously you were the master of them today. Again, fantastic job. Any shouts before we send you back to the D2 chat?
Shout out to my girlfriend who's probably watching, and for like the one time and picked a good time to watch. Also, low key shout out to Zandvoort. It's the only track I've ever been to. I guess it's kind of lucky. So
look at that.
Wow. There you
got the insider knowledge. Well, actually, it's not even insider knowledge because it's not even the current scan of the track. So
yeah, it was
old.
I went for the Dutch Grand Prix a couple years ago, so obviously they had the new layout by then.
Yeah.
But the rest of the corners, you know, just watch F1 races and then you figure out. It's easy.
Yeah, I really wish we had that layout in the game. It'd be so much more fun. With like the banking in the last corner, it'd be awesome.
I think driving the outside of the banking would be a lot of fun.
Imagine the passes on the outside. I don't even think it would really happen necessarily just because of the low downforce compared to F1, but that would be insane.
I agree.
Congrats again. Donovan, any questions for Jack before we send him back?
No, just congratulations. I loved the strategy, so super glad to see it all work out for you.
Yep.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people loved it. A lot of people in the chat were like, "Wow, that's an awesome strategy." I think Mr. Sir was saying,
and great
survive or something. Yeah.
Well, he pointed it out, and I was like, "Wait, is he actually on dries?" And then when I saw you drive back on the formation lap, I was like, "He is on dries." And yeah, that opening battle was awesome, and then also the battle where you got him again too. I mean, it was just super clean between you two, and really fun to watch.
Thank you. I'm glad it worked out.
Fantastic job once again, Jack, and really good to see you up here. First time for everything, right? And I mean, hey, who knows? Could happen a second time season, maybe a third. We still got 4 races to go. Could be 4 times from here on out. Who knows? But it is all in your hands, my friend. Again, congratulations. Fantastic job. We're gonna send you back, and hope you have a fantastic evening.
Yeah, you too. And thank you for the wonderful streams that you guys have been putting together. Been enjoying watching them back even when I throw myself off.
Well, listen, you got the brake pedal fixed for this week, and it seemed to work, right?
Yeah.
So
it's quite the bounce back.
Yeah, I made sure it was not moving anymore. So that was a key factor in the win.
I'd hope it moves just the spring, but not the whole brake itself. Right? So,
yeah, the entire frame was what was moving, and it was
that's crazy.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. Yeah,
not ideal,
to say the least.
All right, well, functioning brake pedal equals Kraus win. So, yeah, you heard it here first. Fantastic job. I keep saying the same thing. I mean, it was a fantastic job, right, Donovan? So, yeah, Jack Kraus, congratulations. First win in SRA. Welcome to the club. We'll send you back.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Wow, I mean, what a mixed bag of just conditions, everything, really. I mean, Zandvoort usually produces some pretty insane racing, not just from like if it's dry, it could be a bit of a like a traffic jam, but even the strategies that you could pull off and on this track are crazy, right, Donovan? So especially with the wet weather.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I haven't seen the other divisions, but in my opinion, with the way the race started, I'd argue this is the best variable conditions race that I've seen thus far.
Yeah, it was good. And yeah, the strategy was, I mean, the strategy has always been quite important on a lot of these variable races, but we got some good racing, some, a little bit of door banging, a little bit of trips to the steward room, I'm sure. But we got some, like that battle, with Jack Kraus and Brian Anderson. I mean, that was a fantastic battle. So yeah, we got some great battling out there.
Love to see it. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we do have Mount Panorama next week. That is going to be starting on Tuesday, the 12th of November. We do have a sunny race. It's going to be no variable conditions, but immediately after we have Suzuka, that is going to be a full wet race. Of course, SRA has 1 full wet race and 1 full night race, 1 per season. That's going to be Suzuka and Brands Hatch. So 2 mixed condition kind of races back to back following Zandvoort. So this latter half of the season, going to be one to watch for sure. So definitely stick around. Tune in not only to D2, but we also do stream D4 on YouTube on the same day. Also, keep an eye on Tuesdays for D1s, D1, 3, and 5. D1, 3, and 5. I just really wanted to say D's, I guess. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's the slip up of the stream, right? So,
yeah.
not as bad as last week. If you know, you know. No song tonight. Kind of just focused on getting the drivers their time on screen. So you betcha there will be one next week. No, come on, Donovan. You love to hear it. Really? Seriously, man?
Yeah, I do.
Listen, I was practicing a little bit before the race. You can't lie. The ideas were there. You know?
I know. Yeah.
They were there.
Yeah. Now you're practicing before next race.
Oh yeah, I gotta prepare something. I'm gonna write a whole, chorus, some bridges, some verses down. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been Anton Rushvich, Donovan with me in the booth. Of course, halfway through the season, super happy to share this experience with everybody watching on stream. D2 has been nothing but electric thus far this season. So thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the stream on YouTube, please leave a like and subscribe for future races on Twitch. Of course, we saw a few Twitch Prime subscribers. If you do enjoy SRA and want to support us in any way, shape, or form, do subscribe with either a Twitch Prime or, of course, from your own wallet. Of course, not asking you to do that, but it's always appreciated. It goes a long way for the ladies and gentlemen that do work hard here in SRA. A lot of it is volunteer work, so the stewards and admins back behind the scenes do a lot of work. And I guess from us, quick shout out to them. And I guess I'm shouting out myself and Donovan at the same time because of that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this week. Donovan, any closing remarks?
Nope, I think you covered it all. Just looking forward to Bathurst, one of my favorite tracks next week.
Yeah, looking forward to play some Mario Party. Donovan, let's go. Excited.
Oh man.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining. We will see you all next week.